Good morning, survivors. It's Angie, and today we're going to talk about the final discard. All right, let's get started. So first, we're going to define the final discard. It looks like this. When you are with a narcissist, you go through this phase, this cycle of, discard. First, it goes love bombing at the beginning. Then eventually you get to the part where the love bombing is over and he or she is devaluing you. And once you get to that point, you get to the discard phase. Now, a lot of times the discard phase is just part of the cycle, and you come back and you go back through the love bombing and the hoovering and all the other good stuff like that. But at sometimes, in some cases, you get to the point where they call it the final discard, which is where the narcissist is finally finished with you. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today. It seems to be one of the biggest questions I hear from my clients, my readers, my viewers is, how do I know if it's the final discard? So let's talk about that. So one of the things that is usually when the final discard happens, there's another person involved. And if you are not personally the one who did the leaving, you will know because the narcissist will eventually stop contacting you entirely, but it will be a process. Now, in some cases, the final discard never happens because even if they do move on and find another person, they keep you in this little circle of supply, of narcissistic supply. So the circle includes, often yourself and other old exes and maybe a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, some flying monkeys, stuff like that. So a lot of people like to call that the narcissistic harem that they get together. So if you are in a position where you've been discarded and you don't want to be part of the narcissistic harem, you should know that, and you should consider making it the final discard for yourself. But it's totally up to you. So you have to remember that a narcissist sees you a lot like a television. So you're the person who entertains them. You're the person who is, unnecessary unless they need entertainment and stuff like that. So what happens is that, we've talked before about how a narcissist would like to put their supply in a closet and leave them alone in the closet until it's time for them to entertain or do whatever supply they need. So this is something to remember when you're dealing with a narcissist, is that as a source of supply for him or her, you're simply just one of many sources of supply, like sources of entertainment, like a television. In some cases, the final discard will have nothing to do with you. It will usually have to do with the fact that the narcissist is bored and wants to move forward and do his thing or her thing. So, one of the things you have to know is that if you feel like you have caused a real serious narcissistic injury, sometimes that will be the end of it for them. And a lot of times that is caused simply by not giving them the kind of supply that they want, refusing to argue with them, refusing to play into their manipulation games. If they eventually realize if they can't get what they want from you, well, they can move on and find someone else who will do that for them. Okay, of course, whether it lasts or not is another story. And again, as always, you still remain in the narcissistic Rolodex, and you may or may not be called upon again to return as a source of supply based on what they're dealing with. Personally, I would suggest that you stay the hell away. If you get discarded, be grateful and move forward. But if you are in a position where you want to know if they're coming back, there's a pretty good chance they are. Almost always they come back at some point in some way, whether they just send you a little, hey, how you doing message when they fight with their current supply, or or if they may try the hoovering technique, which ends up like they try to suck you back in, usually with drama or something horrible happening to them. So something else to consider. It's really hard for most people to think of themselves as a supply. It's really even harder for people to admit that they have found themselves in a position where they are being literally treated as someone who isn't human. But discovering and acknowledging the issue is really the first step to healing yourself and your life. So if you're in a position where you've been discarded by a narcissist, now would be a really good time for you to step up and choose to not be a repeat supply. Now is a good time for you to stand up and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and live my life and do my thing, because this is the time when you can really change your life. I know that you might miss the narcissist still, and there are parts of the narcissist that you loved, but the part of the person that you thought you got with, obviously, if they turn out to be a narcissist, it's not who you really thought you were getting with in the first place. You are mourning who you thought they were, as opposed to who they really were. So if you are able to acknowledge that and move forward and see them for who they actually are, that could be really beneficial in your recovery. So one of the things I suggest to my clients is that they write down a list of all the things they no longer have to deal with when they go no contact with a narcissist. And I've actually done a video on that called 103 Things You No Longer Have to Deal With When You Go No Contact with a Narcissist. So you should check that out, all right? I'll try to remember to link it for you. Remember that if the narcissist does come back to you, it's almost always going to be a temporary situation. For example, I have one client who the narcissist keeps coming back and coming back and coming back, and she keeps taking him back, and then next thing she knows, within days or weeks or hours sometimes, the narcissist is back to his old tricks, and she's back to feeling miserable and wanting out of the relationship. So know that narcissists are unlikely to change, and even if they do love bomb you and make you all kinds of promises, a lot of times it never goes back, and it never becomes what you want it to be or what he or she claims it will be if you take them back. So don't allow yourself to fall for it. If you've gotten out, stay the hell out if you can. While there are some cases where you might actually be able to stay friends with someone who you have broken up with or divorced from for various reasons, maybe for the kids or whatever, that's not going to be the case with a narcissist. If you really want to break free and go, clean, even if you have kids with a narcissist, you have to maintain low contact. If you don't have kids with a narcissist, you should absolutely go no contact and mean it. Because if you want your life to start to get better, you want to start to feel better, you have to be able to open up that space that the narcissist has kind of sucked up out of you and out of your life. You get to kind of refigure out who you are and what you're all about. It's pretty fascinating and pretty interesting, and it actually can be incredibly empowering if you want it to be. Remember that the kind of supply that the narcissist wants is emotional supply. They want you to miss them. They want you to feel bad that they're not there. They want you to be sad. They want you to scream and cry and text a million times and cause a bunch of drama so that A, they can say, oh, see, I told you that bitch was crazy. And B, to their other people, they're flying monkeys and whatnot. And B, they want to know that someone wants them even if they don't want that person. And, then they can say to their new supply, hey, see, I told you this bitch is crazy. So just keep it in mind. Realize that if the worst possible thing you can do to a narcissist, if you really want to get revenge or you want to, make them wish they didn't leave you or whatever, the worst possible thing you can do to them is just to ignore them and to live your life well, my friend. That's what you got to do. On the same token, it's really easy to feel scared when you're going through this, especially if you have kids and a family to take care of. And it's very easy for you to go, you know what, I can't take it, I can't deal with it, it's too much. But here's the thing, my friend. This is when it's really important to manage yourself, manage your emotions, manage your vibe. Okay, if you stay in the frame of mind that you're lacking, that you don't have the things you need, that life isn't as good as you think it's going to be, or that it's as good as it could be, it will not be as good as it could be. But if you focus on knowing that you will be okay, that everything will be okay, that even if you don't know how it's going to work out, that you know it's going to work out and you're going to manage and everything's going to be great, guess what? That's going to happen. I know it sounds impossible, but try it. That positive behavior, the positive attitude, the positive vibrations, these things will bring more positive into your life. So if you really want to take back your life from a narcissist, the best thing you can do is change your vibes. Start thinking positive. Start thinking like successful, abundant thoughts. Don't fear. Just focus on your new life, your better life, the life that you're creating without any poison in it this time, okay? So the best thing you can do is disconnect, because when you disconnect, the narcissist eventually will realize that they are not getting what they want from you, that you are disconnected from them and you are no longer a valid source of supply. And when they realize that, they might actually leave you alone for a while and let you live your life. So my suggestion is that if you are discarded by a narcissist and you don't want to live in narcissistic hell anymore, that you personally choose to disconnect for good. Because you and I both know that there's quite a possibility that he or she will be back looking for more supply in the near future or in the distant future. Either way, if you fully disconnect and become someone who will not offer them that supply, they will go away and let you live your life. And my friend, even if it feels painful right now, I promise you it's going to make life so much better when it's all done, all right? So that's my video for this morning. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will be back later today with another video. If you have suggestions for what you want to hear about, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Happy Monday. See you soon. And as always, thanks for letting me be a part of your recovery and a part of your life today.